So we're back now, and I think fittingly following my Microsoft presentation, it's my pleasure to introduce John Tucker from Metaswitch, effectively the newest member of the Microsoft family. I think they've probably made acquisitions since then, but effectively Metaswitch now a key part of the Microsoft offering. So John, over to you.
Good stuff. Good afternoon. Thank you, Patrick. Good to be with you all. So what we'd like to talk about today is where we see, well, what's happened in the market recently, but where we see that going and what our strategy to enable operators to go and capture value in this new market is set out to be. So Patrick's obviously talked about the wider view across Microsoft and Metaswitch. From our perspective, as we look into the market and what we're trying to solve for and enable our customers, really, it's been a big year of change, and we don't think these changes are temporary. We think the market has gone through a set of disrupting events that are genuinely once in a generation. And if we look at the kind of marketing effort we've put and the efforts we've put in our go-to-market over the last 10 years, actually, the events globally in the pandemic and the changing in business and working patterns have accomplished more than we have through our efforts over a long period of time. And in particular, we see, well, first of all, the introduction of and the dominance now of working from home, and a new type of worker being the displaced worker, employees who had a very structured, very regimented in the office working patterns, but now find themselves working from different environments. And we see we're not going to all go back to 5 days in a week in the office. These worker types and their unique needs are going to persist in businesses for the long term. At the same time, use of technology has changed in leaps and bounds. If we look at just in terms of the Microsoft perspective, the growth of Teams as a video collaboration, team messaging platform within businesses in Europe has expanded more than 30 times since the start of the pandemic. And of course, we've seen growth on other platforms as well. And this expectation now that the way I interact with my colleagues, my co-workers, is via these video platforms. And I expect my expectations of how that's going to work and how usable that's going to be and the quality of the video I'm going to receive. These expectations have all risen very rapidly in this period. And for us, just a little bit close to home, Metaswitch. So yes, we've been acquired. The deal was signed back in May with Microsoft, closed in July. And we completed, I've been along the journey, possibly the first truly virtual M&A that's been completed completely under pandemic conditions. And we are now a wholly owned subsidiary of Microsoft, integrated as part of the Azure group, but working also very closely on the strategy and on product plans with the Teams group. And the big news from my perspective, running the UC and enterprise business for Metaswitch, is that we have jointly committed to a strategy that maintains the Metaswitch business model, the Metaswitch solution set, fundamentally as part of Microsoft building deeper partnerships with operators to jointly build and create value for our customers. And we're really excited about the strategy that we've agreed with the Teams group and we're working on together with them. So in terms of the market, I mean, the big trend we see is that a lot of businesses have made do with tools they could put in place to cope with the pandemic, and that's led to more fragmentation, more disjoint experience across the business and even for individual users. And so we see really two primary problems that businesses are trying to solve for. The first is how to federate and integrate these different tools that are now within the business. Most businesses were not using video collaboration richly beforehand. It's now embedded, and they haven't retired the phone system or the requirements and the use cases and the needs for a rich communication tool sets that they have. So how do we bring those together? That's question one for the enterprise. And question two is, well, we're now so dependent on the UC and the collaboration tool that raises a significant focus and attention on the usability and adoption of those tools. When your CEO is saying, I can't use this tool, it's completely critical, it's got to just work, it's got to work seamlessly, it's got to interact with my voice system, that becomes a top tier problem now, whereas perhaps in the past, the conversation was more oriented around function, feature, functionality. And for us, the operator community, well, those are the two biggest problems for us to go and solve for our customers. And we think the winners are those who can address that federation integration and usability problem most effectively. Now, the good news is we think operators are really well placed to win, in that when we talk to our large operator base, in the very large majority of cases, they feel very good about the opportunity in front of them to both leverage their unique assets and capabilities with the network, whether that's say fixed-based, over-the-top, or mobile networks. Also building on that close, intimate relationship that operators have with their customers and with the business community in their markets. And those two go together with that understanding and with the network, bringing the right capability set, delivering it effectively, but essentially comes down to becoming that overarching solution provider to the business. Most businesses now have these very diverse needs, have this very hybrid estate environment, whether that's because they've got different offices that have different requirements, or because they've got a mix of technology with different capabilities they want to work together, or whether that's because through mergers and acquisitions, they have a kind of a legacy mix of capabilities. Most businesses now are looking for one organization to grab that problem statement as a whole and solve for it. And we think that's an area that the operator community at large have the right skills for, and the right expertise to go and deliver on. And what you need then is the right product set, the right capabilities in your tool bag to go and meet those customer needs. So in terms of the Metaswitch product line strategy, we are, as I referred to before, completely committed with Microsoft to continuing to develop the solution set to enable operators to build, first of all, solutions under your brand that you own, and you can define the licensing model to your customer, the packaging, the pricing, the feature sets, because we understand that in your markets, particularly in the SMB and the mid-market spaces, that your customers, your segments you're selling into have very diverse needs, and you need the control and the flexibility over the offer to go and win in the market. We continue to see, and we think that the displaced worker places even greater focus on mobility, delivering really highly usable, very intuitive, mobile native experiences to our end users. We remain committed to a completely open ecosystem. Now, this is something that Metaswitch from our founding has been, whether this is handsets or CRM integration or productivity platforms. We are committed to maintaining partnerships across the market. And in fact, and it's been very pleasing to see and understand, and you will have seen this from Microsoft, this is a common characteristic with Microsoft also. And so we're doubling down on opening up that ecosystem to as wide a range of partnerships as possible. And we are maintaining that operator-oriented, operator-designed business model from Metaswitch, in terms of, we recognize most operators want to apply capital to build solutions that then they can generate revenue streams on the back of. And we see that continuing. We can also bring a lot of economic and flexibility around the commercial model. And the two new things we're building, well, first of all, we're in this very hybrid environment. We recognize the need. One of the ways that you'll capture value alongside this explosive growth in Teams is by demonstrating how your solutions integrate into that Teams ecosystem. And we are building, and we have a roadmap to execute on with Microsoft, the best-in-class Teams integration. And finally, we'll be leveraging and bringing value to operators through Azure, whether that's in terms of public hosting, where that may be appropriate, but also bringing some of the capabilities that the cloud has in terms of cognitive services and other advanced feature capability to leverage into the UC portfolio. And so then we really see then three big opportunities we'd love to talk to you about. I mean, the first is, of course, and as Patrick talked to, is making sure you can deliver the best connectivity into Teams solutions where the enterprise has decided they want to take the full stack and use the phone system as part of Teams, and they're looking for the operator to deliver connectivity. And that isn't just about the pipe, it's about the value add and the managed services around that pipe is where you, the operator, can build a really strong business. Secondly, we still see huge opportunity for operators with your own brand UCaaS, own brand cloud PBX solutions, mobile VPN solutions, where the end business is looking to buy from you, the operator. They value your brand, they value the tight integration with your network, and they value the simplicity of a solution that they can both consume very easily, but that delivers a capability set, a feature set that fits right with their business needs. And thirdly, we see an opportunity for you as the operator to deal with this hybrid, this fragmented estate, and to deliver solutions to businesses that enable them to deliver a consistent calling experience across their PBXs, their cloud-delivered UCaaS services they're consuming, their Microsoft Teams or other collaboration suites, to bring these myriad disparate solutions together into a consistent calling and communication experience. And we think with the combination of our MaxUC application server and our Perimeter SBC, we have the most complete solution of any vendor in market to the operator to go and build the right solution for the market. With that, I will thank you very much for your time, and I'll hand you back over to Patrick and the team for the rest of this morning's sessions. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, John. That's been fantastic. Really insightful look there, and I think all of our audience is fascinated to see what you guys are building together at work with Microsoft there. So thank you for your time, and catch you in a bit.
Good stuff. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks.